This is not how I expected to bring the car home. The series just got a whole lot longer.
Shot out of the barrel like a cannonball. Shot out of the dark, I'm a cannonball. Shot out of the barrel with the bad light. Shot out with the holy fire. Shot out of the barrel like a cannonball. Shot out of the dark, I'm a cannonball. Shot out of the barrel with the bad light. Shot out with the holy fire.
So it's been quite a while since I put out an episode. I know, trust me, I've had a lot of people asking, what's the deal with the Audi? Where's the car? Why is the engine out? Why haven't you returned any of my calls? This isn't working between us. You're just like your father. Well, as is always a risk when putting a big old turbo onto a stock block, we had some complications. So while I had very different plans for this episode and the entire series as a whole, this is where we're at. Now we're doing a full build on the engine. I'm going to take you guys along with me. But to go into further detail, let's go back a few weeks for an explanation from a kind of sad but very handsome host. Well, gang, today sucks. Today I was supposed to pick up my car. It's been about 3 months since I dropped it off, I think. A little bit longer than I thought, but you know, when you're kind of the first adopter or something like this, it takes a while. So after about 3 months of back and forth of tuning, logging, tweaking, all that, it was done. It was supposed to be done today. And on the final log, Frank heard rod knock, and then the oil light came on. So this 4-part series has turned into a much longer series. I don't know. I'll try to continue to be on the bright side and not be such a bummer all day, but this wasn't exactly how I looked forward to today going. I don't really get to enjoy the car this summer now, because now I gotta pay for an engine rebuild, which I'll be doing, so that'll be more content for the channel, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. So potentially I'll be able to even get more power out of the car, which is cool. So that's what's going to be coming up. I'm going to get the car now. Frank is letting me use his trailer. I think he's about as bummed as I am about this, because he's been the one driving and logging the car. He said he's probably driven the car, like done a pull to red line like 30 times logging it. He said it's been like perfectly fine the whole time until this last pull that ended up causing rod knock. And that's nothing against the tuner, nothing against Frank. It's just really poor coincidence, really. The engine has 80,000 miles on it. It probably wasn't the most healthy, even though I did what I could as far as maintenance. So it sucks, but time for a rebuild. So, after doing the old swap my car for the parents' truck to pull the trailer holding the other car that blew up and bring the trailer back and drop off the truck and pick up my car, thanks Mom and Dad, I made it to Frank's shop, where he's been logging and flashing the car with custom United Motorsports software for the new turbo setup over the last 3 months. But Frank says it's okay under 3,500 RPMs. Oh man, that sounds bad. Okay, Frank, explain yourself.
Oh boy. 43 years old. Not a felon. All right, so ultimately, after doing countless logs and full third gear, fourth gear pulls with the car, the final verification log didn't go very well. So, at the top of third gear, puts you at about 120 miles an hour, and let off, turned around, had a little oil pressure fault come on, so I shut the car off, turned it back on, drove it back here. Once we got back here, I tried to search for the oil pressure setting in VACCOM, and as I was doing that, another fault came up, and after shutting it off and restarting it and doing the slow rev, the ultimate bearing failure was prominent with the rod knock. So.
Hooray. And how many pulls did you do on that car before that? Like, since I dropped it off?
So what did we say? I was on revision I, so 9 revisions. On each revision, there is at least 2 full pulls. So
Probably close to 25, 30?
yeah, we're probably getting up there around 30.
Wow.
So I guess on a plus side, it happened to me, not you.
Yeah.
But at least I had a trailer for you.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Yeah, that's the kind of hospitality you get with European Performance Group.
I felt bad. It was kind of out of my control, but it's still just one of those things.
After getting the car back, thanks to the use of Frank's trailer, no time is wasted getting it into the garage to tear it apart. Thanks for the help, Sean. But the biggest hurdle I haven't even mentioned yet is my hood latch has been broken for months. Literally the day I dropped it off at EPG, it broke, meaning I couldn't and still can't open the hood. For days, I've tried accessing it through the wheel well, through the grill, between the hood and grill, under the car, but still no dice. Which leaves one last option.
And when all else fails, go for the saw. So, gonna basically go in here and saw in there. Trust me, I've exhausted every possible option at my disposal. I've been at this for multiple days. So, yeah, bring on the hate comments. And I wasn't able to find a way to get this hood open, and really the only successful way I found online for the V8 for the specific problem I have is sawing through it. And I'm not sawing through the hood or anything, just through the latch, and it's like $100 to fix. So I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of trying new options. So here we go.
With the hood open, I finally have access to the engine and can start removing the front end. Already, I can see one of the breather hoses to the valve cover is broken, and I found a huge boost leak. So maybe it's a good thing I'm tearing everything out. And of course, with this build series, there are more shots of my underwear.
VQ. Yeah. I think that should do it for tonight. It's getting a little late, but we made some decent progress today, and by we, I of course mean just me. I got the front off. I got the hood open. That's the biggest part of today, is getting the hood open, because man, that's just been like driving me crazy for months now. But yeah, we got hood open, front off, ready to take the engine out about. So I'm thinking tomorrow I'll probably have the engine out. I got a splinter. Ow! So that's it for tonight. I'm gonna cut to tomorrow. Alright, back again today. I'm gonna take out this engine. I don't think it really needs much more explanation because I've already talked enough about it, but I'm gonna start by draining the oil to see what remnants of my rod bearings might be in there, if there's any metal flakes, whatever. That'll tell us more evidence of things going badly. And then after that, I'm gonna disconnect the wiring harness from all the sensors, label them with masking tape, because even though you might think you'll remember all of them, trust me, you won't. And then after that, unbolt engine mounts, unbolt bell housing, and get it out with an engine hoist. So let's get to it.
Luckily, I wasn't able to find any metal flakes in the oil, so whatever internal damage the engine has, it's likely minimal. So, on to disconnecting lots of connectors, which was actually easier than I expected. I know disconnecting a wiring harness doesn't sound that hard, but I was a bit intimidated by how much wiring is going on here, since the last car I pulled an engine out of was from '97. But it all came out just fine.
Alright, so when you're taking out your engine and disconnecting your whole wiring harness, you end up with a big old trophy like this that can really get in the way. But you want to make sure that you get all of these sensors unplugged before you start tugging at the engine, because your engine hoist should be stronger than 18 gauge wire. So you just want to be careful that you get everything off of the block. And I usually just try to tuck it up in the corner and then just keep an eye on it, because no matter how many you get off, there's probably going to be one somewhere in the block that's still plugged in that you gotta just watch for when you pull the engine out. So I have basically the driver's side harness over here, passenger side over here with coil packs. I didn't label this side as much because coil harness, obviously pretty easy to tell what that is. If you don't know what that is, you probably shouldn't be changing out an engine, but I'm no expert, so I shouldn't be giving you any advice. Yeah. So everything I say is wrong and don't listen to me.
Now it's just a matter of unbolting the bell housing of the trans, unbolting the downpipe, disconnecting coolant lines from the heater core, disconnecting fuel lines, power steering, and air conditioning lines, and unbolting the flywheel.
course, it would rain coolant right before I have to get under the car. Of course.
For a little while, I wasn't thinking and figured I wouldn't need to unbolt the flywheel from the flex plate, but eventually remembered, after lots of shaking and pulling, that there's an axle going through the trans in the way of the flywheel. So off camera, I unbolted the clutch and flywheel from the flex plate, which you might remember from a previous episode.
Alright, the engine is out. It only took really like a day's work to get it out, but alright. Hunk of junk is out. I'm gonna take it apart, put it back together, and then my car's gonna be fast. So that should do it for this episode. The engine is out and ready to be rebuilt. So, I apologize for the wait on this episode. I know it took a long time and a lot of people were looking forward to seeing it, but you know, things took longer than expected, life happened, and plans changed. But that just means this build series is going to be longer than expected. It was originally supposed to be a 4-part series with maybe some stuff in the future, but now it's turned into a who knows how long part series, maybe 8, maybe 10. But now the engine is getting rebuilt, fully built, and the car will be able to handle more power. So hopefully it'll be worth the wait for you guys. I think it will be for me. Also, you may have noticed I'm in a different space. My wife and I just bought a house, and this is the garage, which is pretty damn exciting. Yeah, a lot more space than the last garage, and I'm super stoked on it. So this is the new headquarters. In the next episode, we'll be tearing apart the block and seeing exactly what's damaged. But I've already got a lot of new stuff coming. Ordered a bunch of stuff from Integrated Engineering, a bunch of forged internals and valves, springs, all that kind of stuff. So that's what's coming up in the future. I'll see you guys next time.